Williams has been on a upward trajectory in recent years after almost going bankrupt, after being sold to an investment fund from the USA. The team is right now building themselves back up in order to become the Williams of old. As I mentioned in another video before this one, I think that James Vowles is the biggest contributor to the rise of Williams in recent years. They became a team that wasn't able to attract good drivers and that to rely on paid drivers, to a team that basically could sign Carlos Sainz. The Williams of old, even when they weren't so bad as they were in like 2019 and 2020, they relied a lot of paid drivers, like when they signed Stroll to team up with Felipe Massa in 2017, or even when they signed Latifi or then Logan Sargent. But right now the team is in such a good place that they basically can produce a great car. The whole team is much more confident and they are now capable of signing good drivers on their own. They have an attractive project that the drivers can believe. They're not a team that just has a name and glory of the past. They're not just a team for drivers to build themselves up. This is a team where you can make your career. And that really started in 2022 with the signing of Alex Albon and with the introduction of James Vowles as team principal of Williams. And for Albon specifically, the results spoke for themselves, because just after he was signed in 2022 in the Australian Grand Prix, he drove a 57-lap stint on hards to come home P10, because on the last lap he had to make his pit stop and then was dropped down to P10, but he still came home with a point.
You're going to have to write the Williams guys into the potential midfield battle now.
Yes.
Were you there?
Me too.
How far behind Daniel were you?
Well,
Where'd you finish?
I was about 4 seconds behind him on the second last lap, and I had to pit for another set of tyres.
Why?
I did the whole lap. I did the whole race not pitting.
No way.
Yeah.
You should have just finished.
I know.
But a one-driver team isn't the way forward, and Vowles knew this, so he started looking for a driver, and one driver in specific that he wanted even before he was dropped by Ferrari was Carlos Sainz, and he tried to poach him a few times, and of course Sainz said no, because he's not crazy, was it Ferrari? But when he was dropped for Lewis Hamilton to take his place in the Ferrari, he basically said yes, and James Vowles now had a 4-time Grand Prix winner in his Williams alongside Alex Albon to extract the most out of the car. And for me, this is one of the strongest driver pairings that we have in Formula 1, because both drivers are very quick, they are very consistent, and they are very hardworking, and they can extract pretty much everything on pretty much a lot of the weekends of racing. So if Williams is going to break that wall and join the big teams, I think this pairing of drivers is the way to do it. And if you think about it, this poses a very interesting problem, because in 2022, when Albon joined Williams, it was basically a mutual benefit situation, because Albon was out of a drive, he needed some place to be, so Williams was the place to go, and Williams needed a good driver, and Albon was exactly that. And basically for Albon, it meant that he could build the whole team around him, and if they were to win someday, he was the main guy there. But with Sainz, it's not as simple as that anymore. In this year, 2025, Albon finished in front of Sainz in the standings, but Sainz really took the spotlight in the last few races of the season, because he started very slowly, without scoring many points, but he ended on a bang. A podium in Baku, a podium in Qatar. Those were a lot of points, and Sainz even ended up in the top 10 of the driver standings, almost alongside Albon. And okay, he needed some mistakes and some luck to get the podiums. Yeah, I hear you. But he was there to capitalize on the mistakes from others, because he was in a Williams. Was he supposed to be on podium on pace? Of course not. He was there on his own merit and he capitalized. And not to mention that, for example, in the qualifying in Las Vegas, he got P3 in a kind of chaotic qualifying session with rain, where they started on wet tires and moved on to the inters. He qualified P3 just behind Lando and Verstappen, two of the title contenders. So you can kind of understand why this changes things a little bit for Albon, because he went from the guy that Williams was supposed to rebuild themselves around to now having to share the spotlight with Carlos. And before you continue, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel down below if you're not subscribed yet. Here is a video of Max Verstappen. It will be on the cards if you want to watch it. It's basically a documentary of his 2025 season and how close he came to win it. Back to the video. But with that said, I don't believe it's a bad thing, because having a teammate as strong as Sainz, but at the same time as respectful and hardworking as he is, will for sure make Albon a better driver. And from what we can see in the way they get along and how they treat each other, it really resembles me of the environment seen in the McLaren between 2019 and 2021, precisely the years where they were building themselves up again with Lando and Sainz. And here comes one of the aspects that I love the most about Carlos and his way of going around his racing. He's not only quick on track, he always dedicates a lot of his time to spend at the factory with the people, getting to know everyone, getting to earn the respect of everyone by also respecting everyone else and trying to help wherever he can. The environment inside the Williams has been already very good in the last few years, but with the arrival of Sainz, I feel like it improved even further, because by having two very capable drivers that can respect each other and that respect a lot the team, you can feel more confident in yourself and in your car, and everything works better. Once again, like McLaren 2019 to 2021. Even if Williams managed to bring a race-winning car in 2026, I believe that probably the relation between Albon and Sainz would change a little, but not by much, because as I said before, Carlos is a driver that can give respect to his teammates, to his team, and earns the respect from others. He's been at Ferrari, he was alongside Charles Leclerc, a very fast driver and regarded as a future world champion, and not only gave him a run for his money, but he always gave him a lot of respect and had a lot of respect given to him back from Charles. And here when I talk about respect, I'm not saying that he's going to be a pushover, I'm just saying that he gives respect, but he stands up for himself when he has to. When he believes something is being done that he finds that not to be right, or when he thinks that a strategy is not according to what he feels like should be the strategy done by the team, he isn't afraid to stand up for himself.
Exactly what I talked about. Exactly what I talked about.
Slow intro, Hamilton 1.4 behind. The main target there was to cover Hamilton 1 second behind.
I don't care about Hamilton. I was weak.
And once again, because he gives respect, he receives respect back. So even when he goes against strategy calls from the team, and more often than not, they're correct, they basically don't see it as a bad thing that he does out of spite, or they don't punish him for going against the team, because they know that he's doing what he feels is the best and his judgment is very good. So once again, give respect, receive respect back. So I really don't believe that this is a problem for Albon at all, especially at this point in time. Williams has to focus on going forwards. There is no number one and number two driver, they are working towards the same objective. When they get to a race winning point or a title contending point, there you can start talking about number one and number two, or a shared status of number one. That's also very common. You just have to look at teams like McLaren, see what they do, and do the exact opposite, and you'll be fine. I know that some of you will call me delusional or crazy, but I believe that if Williams managed to bring a title contending car in 2026, it was very likely that Sainz would win it, because I believe that it would beat Albon, and unless it was someone like Max challenging him, I believe that he has what it takes to beat pretty much everyone else if he has a good car. We've seen it with Charles, where basically he was a little bit better than Carlos, but Sainz was able to give him a good run for his money, and pretty much any other driver like Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, or even Lewis Hamilton as he is right now, I believe that he would have at least a shot, he would have at least a very good chance to take it very far into the championship and perhaps win it. But yeah, I know that these are just some smooth operating delusionals going around inside my brain. Anyway, that was it for this week's video. Don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to keep up with the new releases, and I'll see you on the next one.